Big C and Mike Jones, they call the plays in the zone. Spit facts, no cap, straight to the bone. Gritter, roaring gossip, the field's their home. Huddle up, press play, you're never alone. Sunday sermons, but the church is turf. From Lambeau chills to Miami surf. Quarterback questions, they dissect the worth. Dropping gems like they mine the earth. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT, they never forgot. Tune into the squad, this the spot. NFL drama, they break it down surgical. Draft day whispers, moves so tactical. Receiver stretching arms, catches vertical. Big C's laugh hitting, vibes so magical. Mike Jones got stats like a human playbook. Big C's insight sharper than a no look. Halftime debates, better than they should. You fumble the podcast, now you misunderstood. Flags fly, refs blind, penalty stack. They calling out the calls, no sugar, just facts. Fantasy picks, who's carrying the pack? Every week they hit harder than a linebacker smack. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT, they never forgot. Tune into the squad, this the spot. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT, they never forgot. Tune into the squad, this the spot. Sunday sermons, but the church is turf. From Lambeau chills to Miami surf. Quarterback questions, they dissect the worth. Dropping gems like they mine the earth. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking.
What up, football fans? Welcome to another episode of Laces Out, brought to you by Game Changers Media. How is everyone doing tonight? I am your host, Big C. You all know my co-host, Michael Jones. What up, Mike?
What up, man? What up, man? Both our teams coming off of victories. Exciting. See if we can string together another one. Yep.
Yes, sir. Yeah, week 5 already. It's so crazy that the season goes by so fast. But we are coming off wins for the first time, so that's a positive. Well, depending on how you look at it. I mean, you know, some people would suggest maybe we should be
throwing them,
losing games at this point to try to get us a better draft position for next year, the rebuild. Because I think our teams are kind of in similar spots. Besides the fact that I think that you guys have your quarterback of the future, where we really don't.
Right.
But we're both going through a season that we could see a lot of change as far as the front office, as far as head coach. So definitely a lot of changes probably for the New York Giants and the Miami Dolphins. But yeah, what a game last night, Thursday night football, talking about the Rams and the 49ers. I thought the Rams were gonna win this game. I did. The way Matthew Stafford's been playing with Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua, that's just a 3-headed monster right there. Their running back, Kerryon Williams, he's a very good back. I mean, that's a very young defense who can get after the quarterback. So, the 49ers were coming into the game beat up, so many injuries. George Kittle out again. Christian McCaffrey still, dealing with injuries. They're the top wide receivers out for the 49ers. Nick Bosa out for the season again. Mm-hmm. So I definitely was expecting the Rams to come in and win this football game. And the Rams were at home, but typically when San Francisco comes to town, they kind of take over that stadium. You know what I mean? Out in California, you got the You got the 49ers, who are a California team, always have been.
Yeah.
A lot of Raider fans out there because, yeah, the LA Raiders, the Oakland Raiders, not so much when it comes to the LA Rams because the Rams were in St. Louis at one point. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
San
They
Francisco.
were in LA first, right? And then they went to St. Louis and then they came back.
Yeah, I think so. But still, San Francisco, that area is San Francisco 100%. And they kind of overtake that stadium. But man, Mac Jones, Big Mac Jones,
Man,
he showed me a lot last night. He really did. To be honest, I was banging the table for the Miami Dolphins to sign him as their backup quarterback because he has a similar skill set as Tua Tagovailoa, both all Alabama quarterbacks who are very accurate, don't have the biggest arms in the world, but very accurate quarterbacks. Kind of like that point guard at the quarterback position. And I thought that would have been a smart move. He ends up signing with San Francisco on a cheaper deal than what we signed. What the hell's his name? Zach Wilson for, you know what I mean? Which Zach Wilson's done nothing in this league. At least Mac Jones has produced something, a Pro Bowl season at the very least. But yeah, Mac Jones last night, dealing with injuries himself, came in and just a gutsy performance. His pants were hanging off his ass. He was wobbling around, limping around, and
over there massaging his arm for him. Yeah, that was crazy.
Eating bananas by the bushel. This guy, he was dealing with so much last night and went head to head with Matthew Stafford, matched him with stats, and beat this Rams team, which I think this Rams team is one of the better teams in the NFC. What did you think about this game?
Yeah, I mean, I was caught off guard. I picked the Rams to take this all day. I mean, with Brandon Ayuk out, and like you said, all them key players for San Francisco, and just for San Francisco to come in here and get this win, and it's kind of crazy because now they'll start slowly getting players back, and San Francisco could get stronger as it gets to the most important part of the year. You know what I mean? So it's definitely a good thing for them. I was surprised, man. That like you said, Mac Jones, man, over on the sideline, he had a trainer massaging his forearms and like you said, his pants were hanging down off his ass. Like I thought the dude was like he's tough. And that's the thing. Matthew Stafford's the same way. I don't know if Matthew Stafford would look like he looked over there though, but Mac Jones did look a little goofy over there, all beat up. I honestly thought he was gonna die. Like I thought he was gonna die when they went to overtime and they showed him. I was like, oh, this kid is gonna die. But I just don't get it. Like Matthew Stafford and the Rams, like I flawlessly expected them to go down and get the touchdown, and then they had to tie it with the field goal, and I just don't know. I don't know. They went for it on a 4th down. You could have took the 3 points too. Like I don't know. That's a tough decision. It was a good game. Not what I expected, but it was still a good game. And I just don't know if I would have went for it on that 4th down in overtime. I probably would have took the 3, kicked the ball off, and tried to get the ball back. It's just such a big risk because, I mean, your game's over as you know what I mean? So
Kerryon Williams had a tough game with a couple of fumbles. He actually fumbled that last snap, but the fumble at the goal line with the opportunity to take the lead. He had a really rough game. Stafford had a very good game, 30 of 47, 389 yards, 3 touchdowns. Puka had his typical game. Well, actually, Puka had a little bit less than what he normally does. He usually has these huge games. Last night he had only 10 catches for 85 yards and a touchdown. So a little bit off his season average of 14 catches for 160 yards and a score. But Puka cost me 200, actually cost me $900 last night. I had him at 92 yards and 96 yards in 2 separate bets, and he didn't get to either one of those. If he would have got just 10 more yards, and they were driving the ball. Well, I needed the Rams to either tie or win too. Right. So that whole drive screwed me up. But yeah, Devontae Adams, another very good game 5 catches, 88 yards. But
Yeah,
you know,
he came on late. He came on late. Like Matthew was hitting him there in the fourth quarter, hitting him for big gouges. Like I just don't. I'm frustrated because I really didn't see San Francisco beating them, and it really bothers me. I don't know why.
well, what Devontae Adams does for this team besides the stat sheet, 5 catches, 88 yards. Yeah, that's a decent game, but he's out there drawing the attention of the defensive back so other players can make plays. I don't know how many different plays they showed last night of Devontae Adams running a route, and he's kind of picking the player but not doing it where he's causing a penalty, especially on the Puka touchdown. He absolutely ran his route, took out his guy and Puka's guy, so Puka was free to score the touchdown. He did that numerous times. He's most teams are putting their number one defender on Devontae Adams. So Puka Nacua is getting the second, third string cornerbacks. You know what I mean? He's not getting the cornerback ones from opposing teams. But we talked about Mac Jones, 33 of 49, 342 yards, 2 touchdowns, 107 QBR. Christian McCaffrey, 22 attempts for 57 yards, nothing serious on the ground. Christian McCaffrey does his damage through the air, though. 8 receptions, 82 yards, and a touchdown. Kendrick Bourne, great game. 10 catches, 142 yards. Him and Mac Jones they got chemistry from when they were both with the New England Patriots. But this game was truly exciting. It was I enjoyed my time watching it. Division rivals out there in the AFC or NFC West, and I think they're the 2 best teams in that division. I know Seattle's playing really good football right now. Arizona's hanging around. But I think when it's all said and done, it's going to come down to those 2 teams for that division title.
Yeah. Yeah, you said it's going to come down to Los Angeles and San Francisco.
In the West, and that for that division.
Yeah. Seattle will probably fall down to 3rd.
Yeah, I don't think
that was definitely a big deal for San Francisco to get that win last night. So yeah, it puts them at the top of their division, definitely. Sorry.
Well, that I gotta suspect that after the way Mac Jones played last night, I would say that San Francisco has gotta be sick that they gave Brock Purdy that new contract and Mac Jones is playing the way he is, because Mac Jones, if Mac Jones can play like that on a consistent basis, you don't need Brock Purdy. You know what I mean?
It's definitely not good.
There's nothing that Brock Purdy can do that Mac Jones didn't do last night.
Yeah, it's definitely not good when you got 2 quarterbacks that throws into question, who should we start? So, I mean, that's going to be interesting to see. I still think, Brock Purdy has the experience and whatever, but honestly, I like the way Mac Jones played. I was shocked. Like I said, he was a little goofy when he was over there all hurt, but dude stuck it out and got the dub for the team. So you cannot hate on that. Definitely. Oh,
Philly,
what do we got?
Philly, who are you saying who's not elite? What player? Probably easily one of the most overhyped wide receivers in NFL history. Are you talking about Are you talking about Puka? Because I think Puka Nacua, I think he's got great hands, obviously. But if you're gonna throw someone the ball 15 times a game, of course they're gonna have inflated stats. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like you said, they got so many threats for taking the ball deep that it's so much easier for these guys to make these big long passing plays. It's just when you got people distracted, and it's crazy. So I don't know. Now, if you only had one number one on the team, I mean, that'd be a little different. But
no, but what I'm saying, he's saying that Puka is not a true number one, which I get that. Like, if I had my choice of receivers, Puka wouldn't probably be in the top 10 that I would choose.
Right.
He just wouldn't be. You know what I mean? It's just about the scheme fit and how they use him that makes him successful. Like, he's not out there dominating people physically. You know what I mean?
Right. He does have
He's
good
not
hands,
Randy
though. I mean,
Mawson he does have good hands. He can catch, which wide receivers that make $30 million a year should be able to catch the fucking football. You know?
yeah, for sure.
That drives me crazy.
Oh, yeah. So while we have it, forgot to mention last week, week 4. I know it was a weird week. We didn't have too many shows. But we went. I went 12-3-1. You went 11-4-1, and we're currently sitting at. I'm at 46-17-1. You're 45-18-1. So I'm up by 1. Yeah, that's where we're standing in the Pickems. So honestly, we're both having we have a good start through the first 4 weeks. So that's pretty exciting.
Yes, you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Are we ready to move on?
Yeah, let's get into it. Week 5, baby.
All right. Bye weeks. No Steelers, no Bears, no Green Bay Packers, and no Atlanta Falcons, which is good. I think Green Bay needs to recuperate and come up with a better game plan. All right. We got Tennessee, Arizona. I wasn't really too picky on going over this one. I mean, Tennessee's Tennessee. You know, obviously Cam Ward has his bright spots, but they're few and far between. The team's not doing that great. They just don't have a team that's, I think, is well-rounded. Obviously, it's a work in progress. Probably be picking towards the top of the drafts, which is good for them. So I actually have Arizona Cardinals. If the Cardinals can't win this, Kyler Murray just needs to be shipped out. So I got Arizona. I think I said 27-17.
Yeah, Cam Ward and this team is lacking of talent. Arizona is dealing with injuries in the backfield. James Conner's out, and now Trey Benson's out too. So they're going with their third string running back, Michael Carter. Cam Ward's just been sacked so many times. I think he's been sacked 17 times already this year, which is the number one sacked quarterback in all of football. The Cardinals defense coming in 5th ranked as far as getting after the quarterback. So another long day in store for Cameron Ward. Kyler Murray's done enough to win games for this Cardinals team. And like you said, we're not going to spend a lot of time on this game. The Cardinals should win this game at home. I'm going to say Arizona wins 24-10.
24-10. All right, we'll move right on. Detroit Lions, Cincinnati Bengals, obviously without their hero, Joe Burrow. I don't really think this is going to be even fun to watch. I think Detroit's going to go out, have their way with them. I got this one being pretty high scoring for the Lions. I got this one 34 to, I think, 34-10.
34-10. You listen, without Joe Burrow, this team has been an absolute disaster. The defense isn't good. The offense isn't good without Joe Burrow. I expect a big day from Detroit. David Montgomery is playing his first game in his home city ever. So look for, Dan Campbell seems like he's a coach that is going to take that into account, and he's going to get David Montgomery a lot of opportunities to have a big game. Bet it now. David Montgomery goes and gets 2 touchdowns and has over 80 yards rushing in this game. I don't think this game's close. I think it's probably over by halftime. Jared Goff might be sitting on the bench in the 4th quarter. I got Detroit 41-13.
And moving on to Tampa Bay at Seattle. I mean, the Bucs look like one of the NFL's most resilient teams. They just come out, and Baker Mayfield, he does his thing. But the Seahawks, they might be one of the most complete teams. And they've been looking pretty decent. This one was a tough one for me. It's hard for me to go against my man Baker. I like watching Baker play. I like his toughness. I like his grit. but this was really hard for me, and I picked Seattle this time, and I'm shocking myself because I really want to pick the Bucks, but I'm going to go Seattle 24-20 on this one. I think Seattle's got it. I really do.
Well, the Bucks are both these teams are 3-1. The Bucks struggled with Philly last week. They let Philly get out there and get a big lead on them. But that's been the typical Bucks this year, allowing the other teams to get out in front of them. The Bucks can't continue to let that happen. Baker Mayfield right now, he's playing really good football, especially extending the play. They got their young rookie wide receiver. He's having a great year so far. He's had to step in since Mike Evans went down. I'm pretty sure Bucky Irving's out for this game, so they're going to have to rely on other ways to run the football. I'm gonna take Seattle in this one because they're at home. I just think with Bucky Irving out, and until the Buccaneers can stop the slow starts, they're going to be in trouble. You can't continue to let teams come out and get decent sized leads on you because you got to rely on too many other things to go right to get back into the game. And so far this year, that's been their MO. So I'm going to go it's going to be a close one. I'm going to go 24-21.
Okay. All right. Washington Commanders at the San Diego. Here we go. LA Chargers. Chargers are going to be motivated. I mean, they came in to MetLife. They got beat by Jackson Dart's first start. The Giants defense was crazy. I think they'll come out with a better game plan this week, especially against a team that doesn't nearly have the same pass rush as the Giants. I think it's ultimately, I think Jaden's playing this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's going to have a good game. I think Jaden's going to play well. He might be a little rusty to start the first half, but I ultimately think this ends up close, but I think the Chargers just have a little bit more want to win after last week's loss. So I got the Chargers 31-27.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Jaden Daniels being out for the Commanders is a big deal, but Washington's defense has been a huge problem. They've been plagued by explosive plays. They've allowed an NFL worst 28 pass plays over 15 yards so far this season. It's a combination of mistakes, communication, and players abandoning their assignments. So they got to stop that. They'll have to stop Justin Herbert this week. But that offensive line's beat up for the Chargers. Joe Alt might be out again, and Mekhi Becton probably is not going to play again. So this offensive line is definitely an issue. It showed up last week against the Giants. But yeah, Terry McLaurin's out again.
Ooh.
There's just I think Jane Daniels is gonna be a little rusty. I think the Chargers get back on track at home. I like the Chargers 24-17.
24-17. Sounds like fun. Let's see. We got Vegas and the Colts. Vegas and the Colts. The Colts secondary struggled. Obviously, they had that tough play last week. Daniel Jones threw that ball down there, and I can't remember who was the receiver there, but he dropped the ball before he got to the goal line. Obviously, mental mistakes. I think that the Colts should have definitely came away with that victory last week, but that's neither here nor there. I think they get it back online against this Raider team. I got the Colts 35-21.
You said you got the Colts?
Yes, sir.
For the Raiders, Ashton Gentry, kind of had his breakout game last week. I think did he have 3 touchdowns last week?
I think he did.
He had a huge game. Indianapolis dropped their first game to the Rams, which is understandable. They're still a very good team. This offense been super efficient. They're averaging 30.8 points per game, which is 4th in the NFL. Tight end Tyler Warren has been a huge success for them. He leads all tight ends in receiving yards with 263. They kind of struggle in the red zone, though. They need to put touchdowns on the board instead of field goals. But I think that they are the much better team here. I like the Colts. I think they're going to end up being a playoff team, which is that's me admitting I'm wrong. I was wrong, right? Because at the beginning of the season, I thought the Colts would be one of the worst teams in the NFL. But I did say that Daniel Jones is better than what he was with the Giants. I didn't think he got enough credit. He took too much of the blame for the New York Giants. So Daniel Jones is one of those quarterbacks who I thought has talent. I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback, but I think he's got talent and can play good football and lead a winning team. And he's showing that this year. The Raiders are just too far away, in my opinion. Geno Smith hasn't played great football.
He threw like 3 picks last week, didn't he? Or was it 3?
Yeah. Brock Bowers isn't all the way healthy. So yeah, I like the Colts in this one. I'm gonna say 30-17 Colts.
Okay. All right, Dallas Jets. I have no confidence in those no good, dirty, stinking Jets. I think this is just another loss for the New York Jets. Sorry, Dad. Don't mean to clown on your team so bad. Who am I to say? I'm a Giants fan. I only got 1 win, so it is what it is. But Dak Prescott he's got that offense moving. He's putting yards on the board. He's putting points on the board. They're not settling for field goals. I like Dak Prescott and what he's doing. I think it could be back and forth with some fireworks, a couple long touchdowns, stuff like that. But I got the Cowboys 30-24.
Yeah, I don't have confidence in the Jets passing game. The Jets run the football a lot. Dallas is going to have to figure out a way to stop the run. Dallas's offense has been great this year. And the Jets defense hasn't been very good. They've allowed 25 plus points per in each and every game this season so far. The only team in the NFL to do that. I don't see that coming to an end this week with Dallas. Dallas can definitely put points on the board. The Jets turned it over 3 times against the Dolphins last week. That is definitely an issue they got to work on. Also the penalties. I think they had 13 penalties against the Dolphins last week. That's not a formula for winning football. Aaron Glenn, I like him as a coach. I think he'll eventually get this Jets team moving in the right direction. But Justin Fields is they obviously don't trust him to throw the football. Even when they were losing last week against the Dolphins, they were still running the football, and they were having great success at it. But at some point, your quarterback's got to be able to throw the football.
Yeah.
And you got to have confidence that he can throw the football. They got one of the best young wide receivers in football in Garrett Wilson. They need to use him, take advantage of him. They got a really good young tight end in Mason Taylor. So, Justin Fields got to throw the football if they're going to have any chance to win football games this year. But the defense has got to be better too. Like I said, 25 points at least in each and every game this season so far. The only team in the NFL to allow that. I don't think it stops this week. I got Dallas 38 to... No, I'm not going to go that high. I'll say 28 to 17.
All right. New York Giants, New Orleans Saints. Giants coming off that big win last week. Jackson Dart, I'm a little worried. We lost Malik Neighbors, so he's going to have to really disperse this ball throughout Wan'Dale Robinson, Slayton. But I mean, the biggest takeaway from last week was the Giants defense. They're starting to click. They threw in some more stunts than they did their first 3 games. I think they actually had 33, went in 33, or the first week, all 4 of our top defensive linemen weren't on the field other than 6 plays. The next week, it went up to 22, and it's been going up. They're throwing more stunts into their defense. And you could tell, like last week against the Chargers, they gave Herbert such a hard, difficult time. And on the other side, you got the Saints. Clock's ticking on Spencer Rattler. They got that rookie, Tyler. I can't, how you say his last name, Shoe or some crap like that. He's sitting there waiting on deck. So Spencer Rattler is going to have to do something. I mean, they do have Chris Olave and I think Rashid Shaheed. Very dangerous. They could do something. The Saints have shown life at certain points, but I just don't think they're there yet. I expect the Giants to put something together. They've had a whole week to play. They have this positive momentum going, and the defense looks good. The offense, I wasn't really super impressed with Jackson Dart. I think he had 111 passing yards, which that has to stop. He needs to spend a little bit more time in the pocket and go through some more progressions. But I do ultimately see the Giants having another decent game. It's going to be close. I got the Giants 27-24.
The Saints surprisingly got a really tough defense too. They have Saints got a defense that has gotten home on a respectable 10% of all dropbacks. But this Giants defense looked really good last week. The Saints got Foster Moreau and Tyson Hill returning from injury. Hopefully they return to practice this week, so hopefully they're available. The Saints looked really good and had a chance to beat the Buffalo Bills last week. Do they follow that up this week? Spencer Rattler, I don't think he's the long-term answer there. Obviously, they drafted a quarterback early. How long before he gets an opportunity to step on the field? I don't think Spencer Rattler's played bad enough to pull him yet, but eventually they're going to want to see what they got in the young kid. New York Giants' Cam Scatterbo has got 181 yards rushing and 98 yards receiving through 4 games so far. He is just fun to watch. He loves contact. He seeks it out. He's just like a big old bowling ball. He is that old school type of football player that just loves contact.
Your mic's crackling, brother. Please hold on 1 second while we take this commercial break.
I think the Giants defense gets after Spencer Rattler tomorrow, though. I think they get at least 10 quarterback hits. Abdul Carter looked dominant last week at times. I think it's a couple sacks, and I think the Giants get their second victory. You're right about Jackson Dart. He needs to definitely throw for more than 112 yards or whatever he threw for.
Yeah.
That's not a realistic stat. You know what I mean?
I feel like his adrenaline was going. He was really pumped up, and I just don't think he gave some of the routes and stuff time to develop. He's seen an opening and he went, and that's not always a bad thing. I mean, he had a lot of good runs. He had 50 something yards on the ground. It wasn't that he did anything bad. It's just, he's in the preseason, he sat in the pocket a little more. He wasn't about running and doing this crazy stuff. And I just really think that he has the potential to be a really good pocket passer. And once that's established and, teams see that more, it's going to open up more for his run game too. So he just needs to be a little more patient, but it was first game. I think he had a little bit of that excited giddiness to crap to him.
Well, the loss of Malik Neighbors is definitely big.
Yeah, that's worrisome. I was actually thinking maybe we could trade Kayvon Thibodeau or something like that and try to get us another wide receiver, like maybe Jacoby, what's his name? Jacoby Myers on Oakland, something like that.
Yeah. Well, there's talks of Chris Olave again, possibly being traded. I'm not big on Chris Olave, though. I mean, the talent's there, but
yeah, exactly. But we definitely need to get another receiver in there to help Dart develop a little bit because, I mean, no offense, but Darius Slayton and Wandell Robinson just ain't gonna do that for you. Did you pick? No, you didn't pick yet.
Yeah, I took the Giants.
Oh, my bad.
I took the Giants. I don't know if I saw the score though. I'm gonna say Giants 20-17.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And the Denver Broncos against the Philadelphia Eagles. I know that Denver's got a good defense. I'm not 100% a fan of Bo Nix. I think he plays good football. I just think that the Eagles are more well-rounded and, they're Super Bowl winners. And until they lose their first game, I'm going to go Eagles on this one. This is pretty no-brainer for me. I got Eagles 24-13.
Yeah, I'm not big on Bo Nix. Anybody that's watched this program or the Fin Posse podcast and heard me talk about Bo Nix, I'm not big on Bo Nix. I think he gets out the pocket too quick, tries to make backyard football plays too often. And if he tries to do that with the Philadelphia Eagles, he is going to get himself in a whole bunch of trouble. Denver does have one of the better defenses in football, but so doesn't the Philadelphia Eagles. Philly does have issues in the secondary, but again, I don't think Bo Nix is the quarterback that's going to give them the issues that is going to truly hurt the Philadelphia Eagles. Saquon hasn't had the year that he had last year, so I expected him to. Yeah, I expected him to, but I guess that's a lot to ask. But I would like to see the Philadelphia Eagles get Devontae Smith and AJ Brown more involved. I'd like to see Jalen Hurts throw the football more. We all know they can run the football, but I'd love to see them throw the football and air it out a little bit more. But yeah, I got Philly in this one. I think, they're the Super Bowl champs. And although I think Denver is a decent team, I don't think they're necessarily in the same class as the Philadelphia Eagles. So I'm going Philly 24-13.
Oh, accidentally muted. All right, we got Vikings Browns. Vikings are overseas. They're still overseas. I think that gives them a little bit of an edge over Cleveland. I mean, Cleveland's defense is nasty. There's no denying it. But they're just not there offensively. They don't really scare me offensively. The Vikings have a higher potential to put up actual decent points. So I think this is a no-brainer. I got the Vikings winning this one 34-13.
Oh, you're tripping. Dylan Gabriel's getting his first start for the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns rookie 3rd round draft pick. Can he get this offense moving in the right direction? I like Judkins out of Ohio State, their rookie running back. If they can run the ball and Dylan Gabriel can make some plays, he's able to get outside the pocket, something that Joe Flacco hasn't been able to do. Joe Flacco is like a statue back there, just allowing teams to tee off on him. I think he makes this offense considerably better. Now Minnesota's got a really good defense, right? But I think Dylan Gabriel can make enough plays because of how good the Cleveland defense is. And Minnesota's offensive line is tore the hell up. We're talking about 3rd stringers at 3 of the offensive line positions going against this Cleveland Browns team. Man, oh man, oh man. The Cleveland Browns have the highest win rate as far as pass rush, the highest win rate in stopping the run. Their defense is just phenomenal. So if they can score more than 14 points a game, which they're averaging through their last nine games, The Cleveland Browns are averaging 14 points a game, dating back from not last year. I think this Cleveland Browns team could be really good this year. They just got to figure out a way to put up a decent amount of points because their defense is top notch. So
Yep.
I like the Cleveland Browns in this one. I think the issues that the Vikings have on the offensive line are going to be too much. Myles Garrett's going to have a field day. The rookie defensive tackle, what's his name? Mason Graham. Is that his name?
Yeah, I think so.
I think he ends up getting his first sack of his NFL career. Carson Wentz has taken sacks at a massive 11.5% clip so far this season. So Carson Wentz definitely he sits back there and he'll let you hit him. Jordan Mason is the lead back for the Vikings while Aaron Jones is out. He's been getting a lot of touches, but going against this defense is not good news. I got the Cleveland Browns. I got the Cleveland Browns in a low-scoring game, 17-13.
Nice. Houston Texans, Baltimore Ravens. Texans got their first win last week, scored 20 fourth quarter points, finally got a win. I'm not sure. Have you heard anything about Lamar? Is he in this week?
No, he's out.
He's out. I think even with Lamar out, I think the Ravens still take this. I just think they got a better rounded team. I got the Ravens in this one, 28-22.
Yeah, Derrick Henry, they're going to have to rely a lot on Derrick Henry. The defense for the Houston Texans has been really, really good this year. That is definitely the high point of this team. Their defense is a top 5 unit, I'm pretty sure. But Cooper Rush, the backup quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens, he's had a lot of success starting for the Dallas Cowboys. I think he's more than capable of leading the Baltimore Ravens to a victory, especially at home. So I got the Ravens as well, even with Lamar out. I'm going to say 23-20 Ravens.
It seems like I put the Raiders and Colts on here twice, so I'll let you just do
I haven't seen your trade offers, Cap.
I'll let you take the Dolphins, Carolina Panthers. I think the Panthers are trash. I got Dolphins 21-17.
Oh, you got who?
Dolphins. Man, Waller had a hell of a game last week. Sucks you guys lost your top receiver too, though.
Yeah, Dolphins, Panthers in Carolina. Definitely me struggling with the Tyreek Hill injury. That's rough for me. He was my favorite Dolphin on this football team. He is definitely it makes it easier for teams to game plan against us. Jalen Waddle's got to step up. We need to be able to run the football if we're going to have any success. Last week, we were able to run the football consistently against the New York Jets. It opened up the play action pass, which allowed us to connect with Darren Waller. And we got to do that. That's when Tua's at his best, is when he can get the play action pass going. The Dolphins, again, struggle to stop the run. The positive thing about that is the Carolina Panthers lead back, Chuba Hubbard, is out. He is out. They're dealing with issues on their offensive line as well. So if there's a week that maybe we're able to finally stop the run, this is it. We need to stop the run and be able to run the football. Sound like a broken record. That's the key to victory for every week for this football team. But it's true. It's true. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. If you can stop the run and you can run the football, it opens up everything else for your football team. Tua looked more comfortable this week against the Jets. How does this team deal with the loss of Tyreek Hill? Can Jalen Waddle step up? Can Darren Waller contribute more? Listen, the guy had 2 touchdowns, but you know what I mean? How much more do you
Yeah.
want him to contribute? I'd like to have 8, 9 catches to go along with them 2 touchdowns. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Malik Washington, can he step up? The Washington brothers as a whole, Nick Westbrook, Akine. We need no one player is going to be able to make up for Tyreek Hill. It's going to have to be a collective, a group thing. We traded for Cedric Wilson. He was a wide receiver that we had here a few years ago, but he's injured. Why would we go and get a wide receiver that's hurt? You know what I mean? What sense does that make? How can he contribute and help us with the loss of Tyreek Hill when he's hurt? Classic Chris Greer thing to do. Such a stupid move. But yeah, I feel like the Dolphins are the more talented team. I think I'm going to go Dolphins too. I'm going to go 2017 Dolphins.
And moving on to Sunday night. Sunday night football, New England against Buffalo. I mean, the Patriots, they tend to give Buffalo a hard time. The Buffalo plays like kind of reminds me of Kansas City. It's like I think they get bored and games are closer than they should be. It's just, very one of those things. Is it going to be one of those things this week? I doubt it. I mean, they're in Buffalo. You better not be sleeping in your home stadium. I got the Bills running away with this 30-24. Well, not running away, but 30-24.
It's not so much that the Buffalo Bills are sleeping on teams or playing with teams and allowing teams to hang around. The Bills' defense isn't overly good, especially with Ed Oliver out, Matt Milano out. They are acceptable to teams running the football on them. Can the Patriots run at a high enough clip to give the Buffalo Bills problems? We'll have to see. Patriots rookie running back Trevion Henderson has looked very good. Can they get some pressure on Josh Allen? The Patriots were phenomenal last week, but they were playing a bad football team. I mean, I think the Bills obviously win here. The Patriots do typically, give the Bills problems. If Buffalo just handles their business this year, they've never had such a clear path to the Super Bowl. Never had such a clear path. Yeah, the Bills have never had such a clear path to the Super Bowl as they do this year. If you look at the Chiefs are struggling. Baltimore struggling. Lamar Jackson's out. They're sitting at 1-3. You don't have the Bengals who have given you issues. Joe Burrow's out. They're one of the worst teams in football. Who do you got to worry about? The Colts?
Right.
The Chargers? I think we can agree that the Buffalo Bills are superior to both of those teams. So, as long as Buffalo don't get in their own way, this is your chance. This is your opportunity. This is your golden ticket right here. So Josh Allen is got to play at a high level, an MVP level. James Cook has been absolutely phenomenal for the Bills this year. I think he's got 3 consecutive 100-yard games. He's been absolutely great. They need to get better on defense, but I think the Bills win this one. I'm going to take the Bills 30-21.
Yeah, man, I was looking at just the NFC, and Barkley is 10th in rushing. He's got 237 rushing yards, averaging only 3.1 a carry. That's crazy. I did not see that coming. Without further ado, Monday night game. Monday. The Kansas City Chief at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hey, man, this is my – I think I'm going to – this is going to be my upset of the week. I'm taking the Jacksonville. I just have this feeling – it sucks because KC did have a good offensive game last week. Patrick Mahomes looked phenomenal. So it's really hard. But that Jags defense is playing at a high level. And the only thing that gets me stuck up is Trevor Lawrence. I don't really care for Trevor Lawrence. But I'm thinking some Jaguar magic. I think the Jags, this is my upset of the week. Jaguars 27-20.
Oh man, Patrick Mahomes showed why he is still the premier quarterback in football last week. He is a god with that football in his arm, in his hand. His right arm is made of pure gold. He is the man. But the Jacksonville Jaguars have been very surprising. Travis Etienne, listen, they were talking about Travis Etienne getting traded, released, Bigsby taking over for him. They end up trading Bigsby. Travis Etienne has 394 yards rushing so far this season. That's third in the NFL right now. That's crazy. He's been phenomenal for them. But this Jaguars offense has had their issues. They lead the NFL in drop passes with 10, the only team in double figures. They got to stop that. They got talented weapons. They got Travis Hunter. They got Brian Thomas Jr. They got weapons.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I think I gotta take KC. I have Pat Mahomes, the way he played last week, and I know he's not gonna come out and have games like that every week, but Pat Mahomes knows that if they don't get things going, that they're gonna put themselves in a hole that is gonna be difficult to get out of. So I think Pat Mahomes has another huge game. Look for 3+ touchdown passes again from him. And I like the Chiefs 30-27.
Nice. So that's 2 games. That's our slate for this week. Only ones me and you differ on is the Minnesota-Cleveland game. You're taking Cleveland. I'm taking Minnesota. And the KC-Jacksonville game, you're taking KC. I'm taking the Jags. So, yeah.
Let's do fantasy. Let's do fantasy player of the week. Who do you think is going to have the biggest fantasy game this week?
Oh, damn. I know Matthew Stafford put up like 40 points for me. That's a tough one. Let's go with. I'm gonna take wide receiver.
It don't have to be the highest, like sleeper or anything.
I think Chargers, Quentin Johnston. I think he's gonna have a big game receiving. I'm thinking 2 touchdowns, over 100 yards. That's what I got.
I'm going to go David Montgomery for the Detroit Lions. Like I said, he's playing his first game in his hometown in Cincinnati. I think Dan Campbell is going to give him plenty of opportunities to get into the end zone. I think Detroit's going to have plenty of opportunities to put points on the board. Bet on this game and bet Detroit heavy. Give the Cincinnati Bengals 20 points. Bet on David Montgomery to score 2 touchdowns and have over 70 yards rushing. Bet it. Bet that game because the Detroit Lions are about to put a hurting on the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Poor guys. And that's all I got. That's all we got.
All right, folks.
Excuse me.
I'll be live streaming the Dolphins game tomorrow. I'm pretty sure. Stop in, even if it's only for a few moments. Check it out. I'm pretty animated while, you might watch your guys. You might watch Doug or TD. I can guarantee they're not as animated as I get. But yeah, stop in, say hello, check it out, and make sure you check out the Fin Posse podcast. Changes are going to be coming to the channel very soon. A new look, possibly a new co-host. That's not necessarily new, but yeah, definitely some positive changes coming to the Fin Posse podcast, so I can give you better info and a better experience. But yeah, last night in fantasy, bro, I had Jennings in my lineup for, I don't know, I took Tyreek out and Jennings must have popped up in. Jennings didn't play last night, so looks like I'm probably taking an L this week, which I couldn't afford to do. I couldn't afford to take an L in our league.
Yeah. Oh, you sent me a trade request too, Cap. I'll check it out after this. I'll take a look at it. It better be worth it though.
He's crazy with that trade shit. He traded away Saquon.
What? I honestly, at this point, I don't blame him. I mean, like I said, Saquon Barkley, he has 77 attempts, 237 yards on the year, 3.1 average. His long is 16, and he's only got 3 touchdowns. I get that you take a lot of punishment. I get it takes a lot out of you when you have a year like he had. But come on, you gotta do better than that. I do understand that Philadelphia has a couple O linemen out too that they don't have anymore, or one they don't have no more, one's injured, whatever. But you got to figure something out. They definitely got to figure out how to get him incorporated in this, because I don't know. I don't trust in Jalen to be able to throw the ball every game. I just don't see that happening.
He wants to give me Brian Thomas Jr. for Rashee Rice. I don't know if I can do that. Now, I think Brian Thomas Jr. is the better quarterback. I think Brian Thomas Jr. is the better receiver by far, but I think Rashee Rice, when he gets back, is going to be the number 1 target for Pat Mahomes. So, man.
Brian Thomas Jr. and Woody Marks for Derrick Henry.
He wants Derrick Henry?
Yeah. Honestly, I only think Derrick Henry only gave me like one really high scoring game, and that was when I beat you that first week.
So let me get Derrick Henry. I'll send you a trade offer. All right, folks, that's what we got. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Any final words, Mike?
Yeah, I love you guys. Thank you. I might stop in and raid on Big C's podcast on Sunday just to mess around with them. Other than that, we'll see you Monday, and have a good weekend, guys. Enjoy your football.
Yeah. Fins up. Peace.
Go Giants.
Big C and Mike Jones, they call the plays in the zone. Spit facts, no cap, straight to the bone. Gritter, roaring gossip, the field's their home. Huddle up, press play, you're never alone. Sunday sermons, but the church is turf. From Lambeau chills to Miami surf. Quarterback questions, they dissect the worth. Dropping gems like they mine the earth. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT, they never forgot. Tune into the squad, this the spot. NFL drama, they break it down surgical. Draft day whispers, moves so tactical. Receiver stretching arms, catches vertical. Big C's laugh hitting, vibes so magical. Mike Jones got stats like a human playbook. Big C's insight sharper than a no look. Halftime debates, better than they should. You fumble the podcast, now you misunderstood. Flags fly, refs blind, penalty stack. They calling out the calls, no sugar, just facts. Fantasy picks, who's carrying the pack? Every week they hit harder than a linebacker smack. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT, they never forgot. Tune into the squad, this the spot. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT, they never forgot. Tune into the squad, this the spot. Sunday sermons, but the church is turf. From Lambeau chills to Miami surf. Quarterback questions, they dissect the worth, dropping gems like they mine the earth. Laces out, the mic stays hot, breaking down the game, every yard, every plot, from kickoffs to